Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This article that I will read today and talk about it will have to do with a little update from the front, coming from the Ukrainian side, which is going to be their perspective, and obviously maximizations and minimizations or whatever, inflating things and deflating things according to their little goggles anyway. So, from time to time I do this. This is the Ukrainian side of whatever occurs on the 1,200 kilometers front or something long. War update. Ukrainian forces hit 5 enemy ammunition depots. This article comes from Ukrinform from the 30th of December 2022. Ukraine's missile and artillery units have struck 5 Russian ammunition depots and 1 electronic warfare systems. The relevant statement was made by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Over the past day, Russian troops have launched 16 air strikes and 15 of them on civilian infrastructure. War crime. The enemy used 8 Shahed 136 suicide drones, Iranian, and all of them were shot down, 100% accuracy. Great. Why do you ask for more weapons from the West if you're so great at it? I used to tell you about, and I'm not going to repeat it, how the communists and then socialist Romania were lying about Romanian production. It was always, every year they were lying more and more and more. At one point, the Romanian production of steel and crops with grains was greater than United States' production, which was an impossibility, but hey, what do you want? Because they had to lie every day, so, if there would be one number, the next year there would be, not every day, every year, the success. If there would be 1 year that would be the same as last year, there would be a failure and people would be, this and that. So, or if they would be below, oh my God, the same. These guys got to 100% accuracy. They can't go back because there's going to be a failure. Liars, liars, pants on fire. Additionally, that's what I think, but hey, what do I know? Additionally, Romanians, not yet, Russian invaders opened fire with multiple launch rocket systems, MLRS, 17 times. Following, how many civilians did they kill? Following Russia's artillery strikes on peaceful settlements, casualties among civilians were reported. These criminals, the Russians are criminals, man. Not even the Germans were like that. Jesus Christ. Anyways, Russian troops continue conducting offensive actions in the Liman and Bakhmut directions. I would add on top of this article from other information, successful offensive operations. Okay, but they start short. They just say, well, we're conducting offensive actions. The enemy is trying to improve their tactical positions in the Kupiansk and Avdiivka directions. Nothing successful over there, Ukrinform? I guess not. In the Volyn, Polisia, Siversky and Slobozansky directions, the situation remained stable. There are no signs of enemy offensive grouping being formed. In the Siversky and Slobozansky direction, the enemy opened fire on the Chernihiv regions, Semenivka and Zalizny. Missed. The Sumy regions, Zapsila and Velika Rybitsia. The Kharkiv regions, Morokovets, Temova, Staitsia, Vovchansk, Bokkove, Chuhunivka and Zarubinka. Now that I broke my tongue, next ones I will just cut them short. Okay, I don't think you care about it, but I don't think you're going to look over the map to see, oh my God, where that is. Even though I think you should, because that's how you know if this guy is advanced or not, based on the settlements these weasels are mentioning. And if you look on the map, you're going to see if that's an offensive or the same thing, the same ones, or it's a defensive, they lose ground. Anyway, in the Kupiansk direction, Russian invaders inflicted fire damage near the Kharkiv regions, Kaminaka and about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the Luhansk regions, Novoselivske and Stelmakivka. In the Liman direction, that used to be an offensive there, the enemy opened fire on the Luhansk regions Nevske and Dibrova and the Donetsk regions Chervonopopivka and Torske. In the Bakhmut direction, let's see, because it's an offensive and we know the Russians are advancing, but let's see how these guys see it. In the Bakhmut direction, Russian occupiers struck the Donetsk regions Spirnie, Berestove, Soledar, Bakhmutske, Pidhorodne, Bakhmut, Kostintinivka, Bilahora, Kurdiuvika, Druzhba, Mayorsk, and New York. Not New York City, okay, just a New York State. Okay, that's it. They just, struck the Donetsk region. That's all. Zip it. Now, we move on. In the Avdiivka direction, Russian troops opened fire on the Donetsk regions Vesele, Avdiivka, Nevelske, Marinka, and Novoyahaivka. Move on. In Novopavlivka direction, Russian invaders shelled the Donetsk regions Vuhledar, Prechivivka, and Vremivka. That's how you should say it, but hey, it's too hard. In the Zaporozhye direction, the enemy struck the Zaporozhye regions Temrivka, Hulipole, Doroznyanka, Novodryanska, and about 1, 2, 3, and the Dnipropetrovsk regions Nikopol and Primiske. In the Kherson direction, Russian troops opened fire with MLRS on civil infrastructure in Kachkarivka and Kherson. As of December 29th, 2022, a hospital in Luhansk region's Bilovodsk was overcrowded with the injured Russian military. Up to 10 Russian invaders were injured and eliminated near the city of Donetsk. Additionally, 2 enemy military equipment units were destroyed and 3 more damaged. Ukrainian Air Forces launched 5 strikes on enemy clusters over the past day. The Ukrainian military have also shot down Russia's Orlan-10 reconnaissance drone. Ukraine's missiles and artillery units hit 6 enemy personnel and military equipment clusters, 5 ammunition depots, and 1 electronic warfare system. So, this is the information these guys give us. Now, if you just take it from these guys, you say, oh my God, nothing really happens over there. Well, if you get more information detailed on what happens in Bakhmut, and I know Bakhmut quite well, not because I was over there or anything, but there's other sources. Even the Ukrainians are indirectly saying that the Russians are, and sometimes directly saying the Russians are advancing, but slowly. Even that called the Institute of Study of War, a think tank in Washington, D.C., which I used to think that they're kind of like, okay. I heard them how they covered certain topics, and I was like, no, my friends, no, you're not. You're just blah, 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 blah. Even they said that the Russians, this is what the term used, slowed down their advance in Bakhmut. So that means they were in full, stride or something, and now they're just jogging. Yeah, that means they're advancing. But I didn't know that the Russians were advancing like this before, since you say they slowed down. They slowed down for something that was higher speed, and I wasn't aware of. So you see, but don't get me wrong. These guys do this as the other ones also do it. Why? Because first of all, during a war, they all lie. Okay, they maximize their successes, they minimize their losses. They maximize the enemy's losses and minimize the enemy's successes. That's how it is. So I'm not that harsh with these guys' evasive interpretation of events over there, because they are at war with the other guys, and they're not at war like playing ping pong or something. They're about losing lives and destroying a nation and killing a lot of other people for other people's interests and money. So that's what bothers me. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.